And thank you that I'm could be here today. My name is Patrick Scheel. I'm 35 years old, and I have nearly 17 years of working experience in operations and ops management, in platform and DevOps engineering. Actually, I'm team lead of the managed services department at Public Plan GmbH and sitting in Berlin. The main customers are the public administration. And today we talk about the possible risks and effects of using untrusted software. Let's start. So who does not know it? We found a new software, or a customer wants us to host software that's unknown to us. The software have awesome functionality. The product enjoys increasing popularity. It's great customer demand. It's open source. It feels like enterprise software. So what could possibly go wrong? What we obviously see is a nice and tasty apple, but the reality can be different. Because if we take a closer look under the hood, it could reveal unpleasant facts that would be better to know earlier. Let me give you a few examples. What issues could that be? We can have hard-coded or outdated dependencies. I have an echo. We can have unfixed security breaches. We can have data leaks and much more. To give you, is it working now? Yeah. To make the whole thing a little bit clearer, let me give you a current example. All right. We received a request for proposal for an open source low-code solution. To host an open source low-code solution, which needs to be available from the internet. The project volume was around about 1 million over 4 years. So for big companies, it's not a big deal, but for us as a new founded managed service department, it was our first big fish. We invested 3 months of intense preparation and consulting. There were a lot of stakeholders involved inside the company. It was sales, bid management. We involved partners and at least the C-level, because we had a high management attention. But everyone did a serious mistake. So the operations team, or the future operations team, was involved at the very end of the RFP process. All right, but before we talk about the impact, I would like to show you what we found out. Whenever we get a new product, we run different scans to get an overview. At our example, the low-code platform, we found 17 critical, 275 high, and more than 700 medium issues, and 1 outdated key cloak. And what I want to highlight here is most of the issues existed for a long time. That was no new known issues. At the time we saw this, we could hardly believe our eyes. But what impact did that have to us and the company? After we found that out, there was one logical consequence what we can do, or two. We immediately stopped the application process for the tender, and we canceled the managed services offering for this product until the manufacturer has closed the gaps. 1 second, Tom, jetzt nicht. Ja, nimm mit. Bis dann. Okay, sorry, it was my son. All right. Yeah, we canceled the managed services product offering or the offering for this product until the manufacturer has closed the gaps. As you can imagine, these 2 points have a huge impact on the department's goals and strategies. Yeah. Because we planned over the next months to rank up the customers for this product, and that's actually absolutely not doable. What lessons do we have learned? Or what can we do better in the future? It's very, very important to involve the future operations team at the beginning of such processes. It's does not matter if it's a new product offering or an actual customer with new needs. It's really a bad idea to involve the persons or the decision or the people who decide at the end to involve them at the end. What we also can do is to sensitize the company stakeholders for such topics, that it's really a good idea to spend the time and the money to vulnerability scans, code analysis, or pen testing. Some of you maybe know how expensive this could be. But if you take a look at the impact, what we can have, it's an absolutely good invested money and time, at least. What happens if you come to such a situation? My recommendation for you is be cool. You can't save the world alone, and especially not in the next 5 minutes. Get an overview of who is how affected. Get a strategy on how to resolve the situation. Implement vulnerability checks before you go to market or before you decide to go to market. And if you're already on the market and have customers with such applications, then talk to your customer, get them involved, and everything will be fine. All right. So I'm really fast. I mean, too fast. So now, oops, let's go back. Can you see me? Yes. All right. That was not planned, but do you have questions?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Patrick, for this overview. Sven.
Yeah, so did you just run a superficial, top level security scan and then just decided when you looked at the results, oh, many vulnerabilities, that's a problem? Or did you make some kind of actual code assessment? Because in my experience, even critical vulnerabilities don't always mean that the product is actually affected, right? Because it doesn't use a library or something in a certain kind of way. But of course, also an assessment of the actual code is always very time consuming. So
yeah. On this example, we did a code or we did a vulnerability scan via Trivy. And what we saw at the beginning, I mean, we analyzed the issues and decided, okay, is it really a showstopper? Yeah, or is it only it's critical, but it's not critical? Yeah, but there were a lot of showstoppers at this point. What it makes impossible to host it public-facing internet. Yeah, I mean, behind a VPN, it's okay, or in an own VPN, DMZ, whatever, but not public facing. And yeah, that was the reason why we did not go into the deeper analysis at this point. Did this?
Yeah, thanks. Makes sense.
Okay, makes sense. Good.
So, I mean, I think this was a nice story on something I guess we've learned a number of times, that involving security, involving the people that need to do the operations late in the cycle is a recipe for disaster. If you would have been involved early on with your operations team and looked at the application, obviously you would have done those security scans with Trivy and other tools as you did. What else would you have done?
Depending on the time or the point where we step in, if it's enough time, I would talk to the customer if it's a good option to do it, or to don't host it in the internet. Yeah, to do it in its own environment. From operations perspective, basically at this moment, I have no better point to bring here. But what we also did, we got in touch with the manufacturer. We highlighted the issues and to get it fixed. And at this point, we were not able to how to say it, and to do more for that. Yeah, I mean, it's not the only customer, and yeah. Sorry, I was a little bit out.
Thanks.
Yep.
No need to apologize. Maybe we can go a step back. Who chose the tools or the tool? Why? And would have been there an alternative? Or is there an alternative?
For low code, actually, there's no alternative. Who decided for this tool? In our example, it was the customer, or what we see is a trend, and the trend says that the public registration wants more and more local platforms, and I have to take attention to not say the name of it. They want especially this product. And what was the question again, Friederike?
No,
So it was,
I think who did the choosing, and I think you answered. Carsten.
Hi, Carsten.
Just to add to what Patrick said, obviously the customers from time to time gave their insights as well. So they obviously wanted us to use certain tools and products, but we also all the time made it clear that the team should have their own kind of knowledge around these. So we just tried to make sure that the team gained their knowledge and were able to basically put that to the table. So we insisted on the team having most of the knowledge to also discuss with the customer face to face on the same kind of eye level. So hence why it's hard to say who did choose and bring in the things. It typically came from the team. Sometimes it was requested by the customer.
Yeah. What I want to add, in the past, we had only an hosting inside the data centers of the customer. So it was an on its own environment. Yeah, there was no need to host it in front of the public internet. And yeah, that was the first yeah case. Sven.
Yeah, maybe to add a slight tangent or some additional information to this whole topic, because it was a little bit hinted at during the talk as well. So you said there were some long-standing issues which weren't really fixed. So what I also tend to look at is how healthy, especially for open source projects, is the community. Do they have a track record of fixing security bugs or any bugs at all? Yeah. How is the development structure? Is it a single company or a single developer, or is it a hobby project or some foundation? That also gives some insight.
Yeah, it's an US company which developed the this platform or this tool. Actually, I don't know if there's a complete community behind it. Yeah, because we have only, or at least I don't have contact to the manufacturer, and it's totally out of my scope actually. But I can deliver the information afterwards if you want. What structure is there behind? OSS Health.
Kurt posted
Yeah.
the link to the health check in the chat. I have a question to the part of relaxation you mentioned, and this is maybe a question to all of you. Is it possible to relax in such a situation? Really?
No, but you have to. Yeah. So it makes no sense to run away screaming and call every customer and yeah. So that makes no sense. Be cool. Get a step back. Consult you with your team or the next level of the management, and decide together what you can do in this case. Tom?
Eine Frage,
Sven.
wenn ich jetzt esse, sind dann die Karotten, weil da sind Karotten drin.
Da sind Karotten drin. Wie aussortieren, mein Schatz?
Wie aussortieren?
You need to unmute yourself again. Patrick, I just muted you.
Sorry.
No problems when it comes to carrots. Sven.
Yeah, I had a question related to that. So, but you stopped this before deploying it, right?
We stopped this before, how to say it in English, vor der Bewerbung, also vor Abgabe der Unterlagen. Before we
Applicate?
applicate.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was the decision to stop the application was on Friday, and to applicate was on Monday, so it was the last possible time frame. So last minute.
And what was the scope? So it could have been that if the operators or the operations team would have been included earlier, so you would have saved a lot of time, because the decision not to do the application in this setup would have been clear far earlier.
Yeah, so the problem was because we have customers with this tool, but as I said, the tools run in their own environments without getting in touch to the internet. And in such environments, it's not the problem. So what every stakeholder in this process then had in their mind was, hey, we're running it for different customers, so that should not be the deal. Yeah. And yeah, in the last week before the application, we stepped into the process and said, hey guys, yeah, we do it for a lot of customers, but not in the internet. Yeah. And as you can in this Confluence page and here and here and here, you can see it's really not that good idea to do it in the internet, or to host it public facing. Yeah. So it's at this point, every plans to make an as a service offering, yeah, gone to smoke.
Any more questions or additions to this topic? This is not the case, so I would stop the recording.